I'm Kevin Grist, the former creative director of Electric Medway.
And hello, I'm Janet Moore, the Chief Executive Officer of Electric Medway.
Janet and I are a working couple. We've been working at Electric Medway for 10 years. Both co-founded the organisation. My role as creative director when I was there was really about putting together the creative programmes. So we did a festival and all of our artistic stuff. So we had like artist programmes to help them play around with technology. But really my role was about doing all the exciting creative stuff, coming up with all the ideas around programming.
So my role at the company is very busy. I manage the day-to-day activities of the organisation, so the operations particularly, and also ensuring that all of our neighbourhood programmes, young people provision is planned and run smoothly and effectively across the areas in Medway which we work.
So Electric Medway was set up back in 2015, and it was actually a company that I had set up as a freelancer originally, and it was all about doing projects around music education and innovation. I was really interested in digital projects. I'd just worked at Arts Council England for a number of years, so I was really inspired by some of the digital work I was seeing there, but I just felt like more needed to be done to make this kind of stuff fully accessible for everyone. So that was my starting point, and so I did a few projects with that, and then the year later Janet and I formally created it as a company, both as directors, and the company was called Spark Techo.
And bringing Kevin's skills to the fore complemented mine, I guess, with my background in visual arts, working in employability and young people settings for the first part of my career, and it was just a really nice blend of our skill sets and ambitions to work with communities here in Medway.
I think for me, there's a lot that stands out, but particularly for me, it was the pandemic, and all of us know in that harrowing month in March 2020 when we knew what was coming, and the arts sector particularly, that we knew everything was going to have to shut down. We run events, we run workshops with the public, and actually all of us, I remember us, you and me, we were at Sunpier House, our office there, and all the artists came together and we just sat there and we were like, what are we going to do? Because the money was drying up, the public we're not going to be able to come to things, and we were like, this is possibly an existential crisis for our organisation. So we sat there and we all, I remember Ed at Sunpier pulled out some bottles of beer at lunchtime, and we were just like, we need to come up with that. But there was a massive spirit at that moment for all of us to do something really innovative, and it was an opportunity to do something different. So as Spark Techo, we talked to the council, to Paul Cowell at the council, who approached us and said, actually, could you do something with a digital festival primarily for young people to start with? And we were like, well, this is a fantastic opportunity. We've never done a festival, by the way, but we think we can do it because of our background doing innovative stuff already. And so I just remember that period. We used to went to the Sunpier office late at night. We were there all hours, weren't we, just putting this thing together. We were at your mum's kitchen table during the lockdown period as well. But we worked hours and hours and hours. We pulled together a very small team with Nina and Georgia, who joined us very for a very short period of time in those early moments. But we pulled together this festival, and we had, I think it was over 70 artists locally, very small commissions we had given out, but there was a real appetite locally for creatives to just be doing something and creating work at that period where they couldn't necessarily take on paid work elsewhere. And boy, what an amazing repertoire of work we've got from that. There are some really interesting bits of work that were created in that digital space, which we've still got on record for Medway, and we hold on to that as a really special moment. And actually that was the moment we called the festival Electric Medway Festival, and then after that we renamed the company Electric Medway.
The public audiences had firmly remembered the Electric Medway Festival brand, and ultimately what we became best known for. Although looking at our programming today, we do run lots of other year-round programming alongside the festival, and we've delivered 6 editions now, so this year was our 6th festival, and really excited about the future. I firmly believe that organisations like Electric Medway are so important for the work we do, particularly around offering first access opportunity for people to engage in creative ways using technology as that tool. We're all digital storytellers, that is our mantra here at Electric Medway, but it is about unearthing those unheard stories and understanding people's local heritage, not just on what's on their doorstep, but from passed down generations as well, and looking back in history as much as it is looking forward. And I believe that we have a role to play in enabling people to bring those stories to life and take people on the journey with us as we do the great work that we do.
Janet and I are from working class backgrounds. Janet's from Strood area, and I grew up in a housing estate in Sussex, and I think both of us share a real sense of the inequality that we see in society, that we see it up and down, that people can't afford stuff, they can't access stuff unless you come from a point of privilege. It's really hard to get on, and really hard to find a voice sometimes. So we think the digital technology is a really good vehicle to get people creative. So I think the idea that people can do creative stuff on their phones, on their devices that they already have, without having to invest too much time and too much money, is where we're at. And I think what an exciting platform that Electric Medway has to really explore that and find ways to engage people with kind of cultural activity and telling stories straight from kind of neighbourhoods and residential areas where you wouldn't normally hear it. So that's what we're really interested in, and I think some of the projects we've done in recent years have really kind of hit that really well.
And for example, we've run this year, in fact we've tried out quite a few new projects. Men in Tech has been a long-running project this year around men's mental health and wellness, and I also know that we've had really good reception to some of our other smaller projects, Prince of Hope, for example, which focused on suicide prevention and positivity in the local area, and longer programming as well, such as our Young Hack programme for running digital camps for young people that are always oversubscribed, and we just love the fact that people really enjoy coming back to us time and again for the workshops and the events that we put on, and it fuels us for when we look at raising funding for future years.
I love the digital camps. I wish I was that age now, because they're such a good thing. You can just get on in the half term and play around with VR and create an augmented reality trail in an afternoon. I was like, why wouldn't you want to do that? I think the impact on me personally is that I feel far more confident as a cultural leader in the sector, and I feel really confident putting on digital, immersive events. And I think the mantra I've taken away from this 10 years is that don't say no to stuff. Do risky stuff. Do really risky, out there, wild stuff. You know, we've done live performances on submarines. We've put stuff, AR trails on boats. We've done all sorts of stuff where you look at it on paper, you look at the risk assessment, you look at the technical viability, you think, no, that is not possible. It's not going to happen with what we've got. But we have done it and done it really well. And I think what I've taken away from this is think big and think bold and just go and do it.
It's about risk taking and giving people opportunity to dabble with something new and innovate and have time to play with the tech and the equipment, collaborate and chat with others, and magical things will happen. Working in the company for 10 years, it's just developed me as a person. I've become a more confident leader also, and being able to work with such an amazing ecosystem of artists, partners, strategic funders as well. It's just a brilliant web of knowledge, and everyone has a shared vision of what they'd like the future to look like in the creative arts sector, and whether that's around well-being, creative health is very, very important to me. Working in education and allowing young people to get skills to enter the creative industries. Everyone, certainly in Medway and the surrounding areas, we're working in a nice, cohesive way, and that's brilliant.
I think the final reflections for me over the 10 years is really about the people we've worked with, and we've worked with fantastic artists and creative people. Participants have come through who are really, really inspiring their journeys. But mostly the team. I think we've worked with some really wonderful people over the last 10 years in our close team. And they've changed over the years. There's been a lot of younger people in the team, which has kept it really fresh, really exciting. So a massive thank you to all those people. We've also got a fantastic board, and we've got great people in that team, like Oliver, who's supported us with sort of business planning and stuff. But it's just to recognise that in that 10 years, we've developed a really robust programme. It's not just the odd programme here and there. We have a really sophisticated programme now, don't we, that, like you just mentioned, that works with education and young people's sort of first access. It works with people in the neighbourhood, with residential groups, and we've got this annual festival that celebrates all of that and brings in international work and touring companies as well to Medway, so puts it on the map as a place to do digital work. So I think for me, it's the people and it's the excitement of what's to come under Janet's leadership now and under the team, because I think the next 10 years are going to be even more exciting.
For me, I echo what you say in terms of the people that have been involved with Electric Medway over the years. I feel strongly as well that the artists and community members that we've engaged with over the years, such great ambassadors, not just from opportunities they may have accessed through Electric Medway as ambassadors for us, but in the sense of they've just flourished, and it's really exciting to see everyone's personal journeys and their growth within the industry. One programme I didn't mention earlier is our HACK programme, which is for artists and educators, and we've got over 100 members now on our database, and it's that space in itself is a chance for people to network and collaborate together, and we are putting the access first for everyone, whether you're new in the world of working in the creative arts, whether you're a DIY artist and want to know how to progress to the next step, or if you're just someone that would like to learn a little bit more in depth into one specific digital skill, we champion everyone's creativity, and thank everyone that's been part of our journey so far too.
I think just to add, I think we're one of the few companies that I've seen where there's been, and it's not about blowing our own trumpet, but where there's been genuine co-creation with the public, and particularly of young people. So the recent kind of development of the Forest Keep AR trail in Rochester Castle was a really good example of where young people played a pivotal role in a kind of production team. And I think that model of creating community-led production teams, whether it's residential, whether it's young people, is a really exciting thing for the future. And I think it's the only way, because as the world gets more and more driven by bigger organisations, and it becomes more unreliable for communities. I think the idea that communities can own their own systems and their own software and their own production teams becomes far more important nowadays and far more powerful in the future. So that, to me, that's one of the challenges for the next 10 years, is how we hand power, shift that power back to people. Being at Electric Medway has been my life for 10 years, so it's really odd to be saying in this 10th year, this is the end of my journey with the company. But it's been an amazing privilege and an honour to do it. And there's a great sense of joy to know that something that I've co-founded with Janet is still running and it's still making an impact on people's lives. So I'll check in with Janet and see what's going on and look in on it with with a great sense of pride. So that's how I feel about it.
It's been an amazing first 10 years of the company. I'm really excited to see what the next 10 brings.